Everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and it's time once again for another movie review. This time out, I wanted to take a look at John Carter from Walt Disney Studios, and unfortunately, this movie is probably going to be more well known for the fact that it did so crappy at the box office, more so than it is going to be known for being a halfway decent science fiction fantasy film, and that's kind of a shame. The movie cost about $250 million to make. It made back approximately $78 million in the States, $282 million worldwide, but that really doesn't translate into box office success. Even if it did make any money, it made back very little, and I don't know if that $250 budget includes the marketing, which just was completely mishandled by Disney. The movie was originally going to be titled John Carter of Mars. They dropped the of Mars part because the box office, or rather the lack of box office success of Mom Needs Mars, or Mars Needs Moms, from 2010, or from 2011. So they figured the term Mars was going to be some sort of box office poison, when in fact I think it would have gotten a lot more people interested in this movie because the title John Carter does no justice to this film whatsoever. Yes, it's the title of the character's name, but John Carter, Adam Smith, Bill Smith, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, well, maybe that would have been a little more successful. What is John Carter? That doesn't tell you anything about the movie, and that's a shame. What we have here is a fairly decent science fiction, science fantasy movie that may seem pretty well worn in terms of the territory it covers, the elements, the story elements, and that's because the source material, the original book by Edgar Rice Burroughs called Princess of Mars, actually inspired many science fiction writers and inspired a lot of science fiction stories. So revisiting this tale some, 79 years after it was written or something, it's already been done and been redone and rehashed, so the actual original will seem like a retread, and that's also a shame. It's also a shame that Taylor Kitsch and Willem Dafoe, Dominic West, Lynn Collins, the cast of this film, all do a really, really good job. The CGI effects in this movie are fantastic. It looks fantastic on Blu-ray. I do not have the 3D version. I bought the regular 2D version, but this just looks amazing on Blu-ray. I really think that Disney had a winner on their hands here, and they just totally dropped the ball. It was directed by Andrew Stanton, who did WALL-E, and he did Finding Nemo. And this is very capably directed. It's very well done. The movie does sag a little bit in the middle when it's trying to get around or explain something called the ninth ray, and I really don't think I ever understood what the hell that was all about, and I don't think it was necessary to understand any of that because it still ended up being a fairly decent and understandable movie without any of that. So it could have been a little bit shorter had they gotten rid of some of that stuff. Maybe in the book that was better explained, but in the movie they kind of flopped on that a little bit. But still, this is a very watchable, very entertaining movie, and I'm actually kind of bummed that it did so crappy at the box office because I would have liked to have seen further adventures of John Carter of Mars, and I'm assuming there were additional entries into the series by Edgar Rice Burroughs, and we'll never get to see them, at least not in this particular decade. Maybe somebody else will pick up the reins on this series and make it a little more successful and market it a little bit better sometime in the future. Maybe it can get a reboot. But I really think John Carter's worth watching, and being that it did so poorly at the box office, you could probably find it used or pretty cheap on Blu-ray. Definitely see it on Blu-ray. That is the way to see it. I can only imagine what it looks like in 3D. Hopefully it looks just as good as it does in 2D. So if I was going to rate John Carter, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's not a great movie, but it's a lot better than I've been led to believe, and probably than you've been led to believe. Just because it flopped at the box office does not mean that it's a bad movie. So check out John Carter on Blu-ray, and as always, feel free to check out the other videos here on the Media Assault channel, and rate and comment on this video, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.